Hi everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, American Viscountess, which is filled with royal vlogs, visits to historic houses across the UK, and not so royal, the restoration and renovation of my little house in Italy. An array of topics which I hope keeps you coming back for more. But today's video is all about the 5 abandoned British mansions and castles in there as well that no one wants to buy apparently. So let's get started. There are actually no specific dimensions that lead to the classification of a mansion. Most have many bedrooms and many bathrooms and might also have staff quarters. A mansion is simply a large house, and most are or were owned by one family for generations. The growth of UK industrialists between the 15th and 18th centuries led to a rise in the building of large houses. Many entrepreneurs possessed both a large country house and a town mansion in London, and this showed the world that they were successful and wealthy, with the layout and style of the building designed to show off their status. That's a mansion basically. But in many cases, inheritance tax and death duties played a large part in why so many family properties were left abandoned. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's look at 5 of them right now here in the UK. First up, Hamilton Palace in Sussex. Abandoned for more than 30 years, Hamilton Palace is a modern-day mansion that was never, ever finished. Featuring a copper dome and intended as a place to house a large art collection, the £40 million mansion was abandoned by the property baron Nicholas van Hoogstraten and stands uncompleted, sadly. Hamilton Palace is arguably the most eccentric building in Sussex. Half-built and lying mostly abandoned, scaffolding set up on the facade has remained idle for years since construction stopped. The latest pictures of the decaying structure show it's a far cry from its former reputation as the most expensive private house built in Britain for a century. The closed glimpse you can get on foot is off a gated entrance onto the estate that gives nothing away. However, stuck on the gate is a sign, High Cross Estate, private property, keep out. It's written in large capital letters. Few have been able to get inside, but one reporter who did in 2000, when it was said to be 2 years off completion, described a grand central staircase and reception hall with lift shafts already installed and expensive stone balustrades and pillars. Low-level lighting had been installed as well on the roof, where there was to be a garden, and there was space for a fountain below. One entire floor was due to house Van Hoogstraten's art collection. But what's happening to it now? Well, your guess is as good as mine. If you do know more, do comment down below. Number 2, Winstanley Hall. Built in the 1560s, Winstanley Hall in Greater Manchester was built for the Winstanley family of Winstanley. The Winstanley family were lords of the manor since at least 1252 and may have been responsible for building the moat on the site. The Winstanleys owned the hall until 1596, when the estate was sold to James Banks, a London goldsmith and banker. This ancient mansion was in constant use by the same family until the 1980s. But the upkeep of the mansion became too much for the owners, and it was sold in 2000 along with 10 acres of land. The interior is now in some disrepair. Historic England have the hall on the Heritage at Risk Register listing and listed it in 2019 as in very bad condition and in the highest category of risk of further deterioration. A group of about 1,200 members today are actively campaigning for the restoration. Number 3, Whitley Court in Worcestershire, England. This haunting mansion in Worcestershire was once one of the great country houses dotted across England. The estate was bought by Thomas Foley in 1655 when Whitley Court was a medieval manor house transformed in a Jacobean mansion. For nearly 2 centuries, the estate was owned by the Foley family, who also enlarged the house. In 1833, the Foleys sold the estate to William Ward, who became the first Earl of Dudley and enlisted the architect Samuel Dawkes to remodel it. It was then completed around 1860. The impressive Italianate-style home and spectacular gardens made Whitley Court a popular location for lavish house parties. Notable house guests included the Prince of Wales, later King Edward VII, and Whitley Court survived for decades until 1937, when a fire destroyed much of the house, leaving it a shell of what it once was. Sadly, the house was never lived in again and was left abandoned until it was taken into the care of the Department of Environment in 1972. The ruined mansion serves as a stunning symbol of a bygone era. Anyone out there want to take on a serious restoration project? I'm just saying, just putting it out there. Comment down below. Number 4, Gurridge Castle in Wales. Perched on a hill overlooking the Welsh coastline, Gurridge Castle is a Grade 1 listed country house in North Wales and one of the first attempts at replicating true medieval architecture in Europe. It stands right now in 250 acres of gardens and grounds and has extensive views over the Irish Sea. Gurridge Castle was built between 1812 and 1822 by Lloyd Bamford Hesketh as a memorial to his mother's ancestors, the Lloyds of Gurridge. When Lloyd died, the castle was passed on to Robert Bamford Hesketh and his wife, Ellen Jones Bateman. Robert and Ellen planted much of the present-day gardens with their enormous monkey puzzles and yew trees. But during the Second World War, the castle was taken over as part of Operation Kindertransport, then bought by Leslie Salts in 1948, who opened it as the showplace of Wales. After the castle was sold again in the 1960s, it became a medieval entertainment center, home to jousting, banquets, and markets, until it closed down for good in 1985. Although property developers purchased the estate in the hopes of opening, get this, an opera venue and hotel, it never materialized, and the castle was stripped of its assets, vandalized, and has been abandoned ever since. And some of you may recognize Gurridge Castle as the filming location for the 20th and 21st series of the reality TV show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I have no plans on coming on that show ever, before you ask. A huge thank you to this week's sponsor, which is Beaufort and Blake. And just in time, because we are getting ready to do some wrapping, because it is, after all, the holidays are coming, the holidays are coming.
Almost everything we want to give to almost everybody, we can get from Beaufort and Blake, because
right.
Look at this amazing selection of things.
I love these socks. These are really lovely socks. I think those are going to go to a child.
Father-in-law?
Well,
no, I can think of somebody who would very much appreciate these. Me.
Okay, so that might be Luke's gift right there. This jumper, aka sweater, I thought would be fantastic for Emma. Beaufort and Blake also has amazing boxers. I love these boxers with good old country dogs.
But can I just say that what really excited me were the shirts. And the reason for that is that our kids, who are
hold them up,
pretty big and grown up, absolutely love checked shirts, thick checked shirts. There's going to be a fight over this one, and I don't know which child to give it to. Yeah, I know. And this one as well, this lovely, lovely jumper. And it's also, I think it's very festive. Lovely, lovely jumper as well. Well, this is a very traditional style. It's called the Fair Isle style. And this one, I think, might be coming to me.
Oh, this is a lovely, as you can see, I'm even wearing Beaufort and Blake now, but a lovely collared shirt. I love both of these. So these are going to be for some women in our lives, as well as these fantastic jumpers. So again, jumper number 1, and we've got this lovely jumper number 2. I mean, all their jumpers. And look at, there's another one that we can give to, not you, Luke.
To me. This is definitely my sort of jumper. Can I just say that by supporting our sponsors, you support this channel, and it's enormously helpful. And we only work with sponsors whose clothes we really believe in and enjoy wearing ourselves.
By the way, real quick, love these sheep socks. So if you want these sheep socks and to get our special discount code, and it's a special one, all details down below and all details as to how long it's valid, and it's not valid very long. So get in there quick, go down below to the description, use our promo code, and get shopping for your holiday. Limited time. This is a limited time offer, everybody. Description, details down below.
20%?
20%.
Wow. And are you going to start wrapping these for me now?
Right now, I'm just going to pick out the ribbons now. They're going to go with all of them. I'm all about the ribbons. I'm all about the ribbons. I'm all about the ribbons.
To wrap my present so I can't really see the rest of it.
Ha, ha, ha. And last but certainly not least, number 5, Dunnawillan Lodge. Fascinating footage of an abandoned hunting mansion up in the Scottish Highlands has surfaced on social media, showing the unoccupied building's rich history that dates back to the Second World War. The Dunnawillan Lodge in Caithness is isolated, but surrounded by green and brown marshy land, and is left on its own in peace. There's a long private road that leads up to the lodge, with explorers, though, forbidden to drive up the private trail. The mansion was once owned by Scotsman Sir Archibald Sinclair, who was selected as Secretary of State for Air by Winston Churchill for this all-party coalition government in 1940. But today, it remains unoccupied but full of historical artifacts. Perhaps this one is for sale? You never, ever know. Do comment down below now that you've seen some of the footage of these 5 abandoned mansions and castles, and let me know which one you would like to restore. Let's remember, YouTube is filled with lots of these restoration castles, chateaus all over the world. Maybe one of these could be your next project. Thanks again for joining me. Be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, turn notifications on. It doesn't cost a thing to subscribe, so do be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys all very, very soon.